What's going on, everybody? This is UFK Scratches here, coming back with week 2 of the Panthers off season here, preseason games. We're gonna try to limit this to about 20 minutes because I don't really want to deal with my audio cutting off again. Also, I'll probably move this up to Tuesdays, kind of going over the previous week with Panthers specifically, because on Wednesday I want to go over other games and so on and so forth. So then that way I don't miss on Thursday night games. Not that the Panthers really have Thursday night games this year, maybe one. I don't remember their schedule that well, but yeah, let's just go over from last Wednesday pretty much. We'll kind of just go over the big points that kind of came across my timeline and so on and so forth. So, first thing, this was early, um, or late last week, I think it was. Burns was interviewed, says icky, where I have some worries about just because they said he had a ways to go. Burns has had some things to say about him. He said he's an absolute dog, which of course he is, but he needs to be more patient with elusive ends, which Brian Burns is. So I'm sure working with Burns, he's going to turn out just fine on that. Burns is one of the best in that position, so it's only going to help him. Not too worried about that. Just hoping that Icky is ready to go for week 1 as a starting tackle. If not, I don't know. Kind of worried about what the line's going to look like on that side, but we'll see. Um, Last week they had that practice with Gaffney High School. I don't remember when that was, if that was last week or earlier this week. Might have been Monday or it might have been last Thursday or Friday. I can't exactly recall. I'm kind of just going off notes here. But that was something, I guess. I assume they do that often. I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing it last year, but I'm sure it's something that's not super new. Terence Marshall had a lower leg injury. He was wearing a red shirt or red jersey last Friday. I guess these are all from Friday now that I'm realizing how I've noted these here. Corbett, our right guard, we just signed from the Rams. He had an ingrown toenail, I guess, removed. So he was out for Friday. I'm not sure if he came back on Saturday or if he came back on this Monday. Haven't really heard an update from that. But I'm sure he's good to go at this point. I'm not sure how long or how painful that is. So not sure. JC is finally seems to be ramping it up a little more. JC Horn, that is. I've seen some clips of him, catching the ball in some coverage, not too much. I think they're still being careful with him, make sure, which is fine. You don't want him to pick anything up, especially leading up this week to the game against Washington. So I think he'll be. I don't know if he'll play. I'm honestly not sure how much they'll play, but we'll see on that leading up this week here. By all sounds of everybody I've heard, sounds like Baker is finally starting to run away with it a little bit as a starting quarterback. People are saying he's in the inside track. He's starting, every day. There's always Baker spinning it today comment somewhere, and not so much anything on Sam or the other two quarterbacks. So Baker seems to be finally running away with it. So I'm sure they've said that they're going to play Sam and Baker both, or they both have a chance to play this week against Washington. But no, I'm sure they'll both take a quarter, maybe, and then have CJ or PJ, sorry, and Matt Corral play the other two or something. I'm not sure, but I'm ready to see some football, especially with our team with so many questions, so many positions that aren't solidified. Preseason's actually going to be interesting to watch this year, so I'll definitely be tuning into that as much as I can here. I forget when their game is, probably Saturday, but other injuries. EJ Saunders had a quad injury. He's out for a while, anywhere up to a month. So he's gonna be, if he were to make the team, I'm not sure how, up to this point, I'm not sure how good he was doing, but if he was to make the team, that'd be week 2, probably the earliest he'd come back at this point. Ian Thomas, that one's a bigger hit. He had a rib injury, got hit in the ribs, I guess, and he's out for a week or two, which is fine. I'm sure he'll play a little bit the third week of preseason. I don't know who we play at that point, but that's kind of an important one because he's one of our two tight ends. I'm not really aware of the other two or three tight ends they've mentioned. I just know it's going to be very heavily Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. So losing him's kind of a big deal for a little bit just because I'm not sure how good he's doing up to this point. But obviously a big loss because he was our starting tight end last year. Along with somebody else. I forget the other guy we shipped out. I forget where that guy went. Other news, not necessarily relating directly to the Panthers, but could be possibly. The Bears linebacker Roquan Smith requested for a trade. I know a lot of Panthers fans have been questioning the depth of our defense, specifically with cornerbacks, but also with linebackers. Right now, I think our starting middle linebacker, I think that's what Roquan is Damian Wilson, who I think we just signed off of the Jags this past offseason. So I have no real input on him. I assume he's good. I'm not gonna go back and watch Jaguars because that team was absolute awful. So who knows? And Martin, our other two middle linebackers are Kamal Martin, Isaiah Graham Mobley. So can't remember them even touching the field last year. So yeah, the depth there is probably be helpful to bring in someone like Roquan Smith, who's only 25 years old, and I think he's coming up. I think this is his last year under contract, I suppose. So I know he has contract issues and he represents himself. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on, see if the Panthers happen to make a move for him. Scotty Fitter, you all know he's very aggressive. He makes moves. At least if the Panthers are looking to even add him at all, you'll at least hear that we're connected to him in some way or have reached out, whatever. I'm gonna guess Roquan probably stays in Chicago. I'm assuming that the owners will get involved and they'll get a deal done with him because by the sounds of his letter, his goodbye note, he said that really the only way that they would resolve this situation would be for the owners to get involved. And if the owners are hands-on at all, they will probably get involved and get that deal done for him. Going into this week, I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't think McCaffrey, he might have a couple snaps. I don't see why they would. I would imagine they would play big, all four quarterbacks basically, give them each a quarter or something along those lines and give Chuba Hubbard and the other running back we just signed off Tennessee, whose name is escaping me right now, give him a few touches, specifically Chuba more than anyone. Get the receivers out there, Terence, Shy Smith. I think Shy had an injury too. I'm kind of forgetting on that one, but it's a lot of people that need to get reps in that just to tighten up the final roster here, whether it's cornerbacks, defensive line, O-line specifically. We're seeing, I don't know who is all going to play on that. I'm not sure if Moten will be out there. I'm just not sure exactly what the Panthers' plan of attack for this first off or preseason game is going to be. Obviously, they're going to play quarterbacks, but it's going to be kind of weird seeing the quarterbacks, but not with their starting O-line so I'm not sure exactly what that's looking like. I'm sure they'll come out with some more details in the next couple of days, probably Thursday, Friday for sure. We'll know what's going on, but I'm looking forward to it. I think Robbie Anderson's pretty hyped for the season. He's tweeting out he's ready for week one. He's a guy who I've seen. Well, there's been a couple clips of him making going up and grabbing a few catches here. Nothing really else on that. I haven't seen many clips this last couple of days, but I think they're finally out of Spartanburg. I think that was Tuesday was their last day, this past Tuesday. So now they're back in Carolina, and they'll go over game plans and build that game. I'm pretty sure Matt Rule said they don't have the game plan for this week yet, but I think that was last night or yesterday, Tuesday, when he said they'd go over it and really figure that out, which, it's preseason game. I don't know how much game plan they usually goes into that, but yeah, the biggest news really is, there's nothing official yet, but obviously Baker's going to take over for her starting quarterback. I think that's just been written on the walls. I think everybody's just wondering why they haven't just completely given up on Darnold and let Baker take all the number one snaps instead of splitting them still. But one thing I do wonder is Matt Corral, Sam Darnold, and Baker are going to be the three quarterbacks that we stick with. Matt Rule said in an interview that they're planning on keeping three quarterbacks, and that's what they've been planning on doing the entire time. So that leaves an odd man out here. Obviously, they're not going to cut Sam, Baker, or Matt because Matt's their rookie. They're going to cut PJ. So I'm wondering if they'll give PJ maybe a little bit more burn on this first preseason game. If I don't know how much they'll play Sam and Baker, but they might just let PJ play just to try to, coaches always say, I want you to make a 53-man roster if it's not ours and somebody else's. I wonder if they'll let PJ play it out. Maybe he impresses a team somewhere. I'm not sure who's exactly looking for backups right now, but maybe a team like Arizona or I don't even know, Seattle maybe, that don't really necessarily have great quarterbacks. Well, Arizona has a great quarterback, but Kyler went down last year, so who knows? And I forget, Colt McCoy is their backup, so maybe he'll impress a team to sign him up as their backup because he can't be on this team anymore, unfortunately for him. And obviously there was some rumors, I don't know where they popped up, I don't know how true they were, that Sam was being shopped around, but everybody knows that nobody wants Sam under that salary for what he's really shown and done. So I don't think anybody really expected that to be true, but I don't know where that started or why that started, but I don't think any Panther fan really thought that we're going to get rid of Sam because there's just not really anything for him to offer other teams right now, especially until he gets off his guaranteed 18 point whatever million dollar contract. So, and then the Panthers would have to eat some of that contract if they happen to find someone who's interested, and it would probably have to be more than the 10 mil that Cleveland's eating for Baker. So that's not going to happen. If they did, I know Panthers fans instantly, as soon as any trade comes up, they're like, throw Sam in there and like a first, like for example, Roquan. I saw someone say, throw Sam and a 5th round pick, and it's like, okay, nobody wants Sam. Sam's not really. If you guys have ever played the franchise mode on Madden, and you try to make a trade, and whatever you put up for offer has like a red, yellow, or green. Sam's definitely a red on every team. No matter what you throw in there, he's a red. He's not a yellow, not a green. So, anyways, that's pretty much about the biggest thing. Not a whole lot. Just a few people. McAdoo had an interview. I don't think he said that much. Phil Snow. I think beginning of the week, Monday, in the red zone, to what I saw, I think the defense won Monday in the red zone, and then Tuesday the offense won in the red zone. So that's, these things are kind of hard to judge because it's bittersweet, because obviously you want your both sides to do good, but they're playing against each other. So I guess you could call it a pretty good start of the week. But yeah, I'm excited to get into the actual football here and preseason to see how we're looking, where we line up, everybody. If Icky Ekwonu starts at left tackle, or if they have Brady Christensen starting there, that's going to be a little telling if Brady's starting there instead of Icky. And then seeing what what happens with Roquan. I hope we get involved at least. Hopefully, there's some news coming out with him. Because we do need linebackers. He's only 25 years old. That's the only reason I'm so big on him, because he is probably their best defender, but the Bears' best defender after losing the players they lost this offseason. So he's 25 years old, looking for a contract. I don't think there's really a loss situation in that, unless the Panthers just don't want to pay him for. I don't even know what linebackers are going for at this point. So, yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for me today. I think we're right around 15 minutes. Nothing real. I mean, outside of the injuries, which obviously hurt us, I don't think there's really been much progress with this team. Outside of just, improving game plan, so on and so forth. I mean, nothing real big has changed outside of those injuries. And even that, I don't know. CJ Saunders, depth, I think he's for the corners. Ian Thomas, one of the bigger ones, just because he's one of our top 2 tight ends. So outside of that, nothing really. It's kind of just, it feels like the calm before the storm. Before we figure out what happens this preseason game against Washington, whether we look awful or look decent. Granted, it's Washington, so don't know how good they're going to be either, so it's kind of hard. But I'm ready to watch the football. I don't usually keep track of preseason at all, but this season we have so many questions in our team that it's going to be exciting. So for my question of the week this week, we're going to go with... We'll go with something that happened recently. The Hall of Fame stuff just took place this past week for most teams who had Hall of Famers go in and stuff. And Sam Mills had his his bust shown, and they did all that. I think it was last Saturday, if I remember correctly. So my question to you guys is, who is your favorite Panthers Hall of Famer? As far as I can think of right now, I can't really think of. I mean, we're a pretty young team, and I'm trying to think people who are actually connected to the Panthers deeper than just maybe playing here for a little bit and really like at the end of their careers. But I think Sam Mills. That would leave Sam Mills. I think Kevin Green played here towards the end of his career, but I think he's pretty well loved in as a Panther, as well as whatever team he's just a well-loved person all around, I think. So, but I'll take Kevin Green, Sam Mills. I don't even know which other Hall of Famers Panthers really have, but yeah, let me know who's your favorite Hall of Famer. Obviously, I know who the favorite's going to be going forward eventually, whenever Julius Peppers and Steve Smith and Luke Kuechly eventually. He should be in my book, but who knows. But yeah, out of those two, or I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, or at least a couple. Hopefully I'm missing a couple, so we don't just have 2 Hall of Famers. But yeah, let me know who your favorite is, and we're gonna switch this schedule to Panther updates, specifically Panthers specific video on Tuesdays. That'll be a couple days after Sunday games, a day at least after Monday games, if we don't have that many primetime games. So, and then that way I can do a video going over upcoming games all around the league on Wednesday, and I won't have to kind of adjust around or update same days as Thursday night games and possibly miss Panthers game if we play on Thursday. So, yeah, that's about it. Let me know down below. Let me know any other concerns, worries, or whatsoever. And we'll go over it next Tuesday. And yeah, that's about it. Bye.